Hey Joe, it's Folks here. If you clicked this video, there's a good chance you are in the process of starting a print-on-demand store. And some of you guys might be wondering what is the best option for print-on-demand in the year 2023. Here on my channel, I recommend you to create yourself a Shopify store, just like this here. Secondly, I would recommend you to investigate using paid advertising on Facebook and on Instagram. You could also do something like this store here is doing, which is creating themselves an Instagram account to promote their products without spending on ads. In my opinion, the reason for this is because you can scale much higher and you can also start your brand easier than if you were selling on a platform like Etsy. Honestly though, that's not really the point of this video. The main point of this video is to show you how to get started with that strategy that I just talked about for less than $100. Here on my channel, I've been making videos showing some of the things that I've been working on with my own print-on-demand stores. Make sure to check out some of my other videos here on the channel if you want to see some of the strategies that I'm currently using. And if you want to go through some more advanced step-by-step training from me, make sure to check out my course. There is a link down in the description. Inside, you'll get access to over 30 step-by-step videos showing you the process to open your own print-on-demand store. Like I said, there is a link down in the description. The best part is it is completely free and you guys can sign up whenever you want. Now, like I said, in this video today, we're going to be talking about budgets. I'll be talking about, like I said, the best strategy for print-on-demand in the year 2023. We'll talk about some different things that you could potentially spend money on. We'll talk about things that you should spend money on and also some things that could be considered optional. We will also talk about how you can start for less than $100. I will dive deep into some free marketing strategies for you as well as some low budget advertising strategies that you can use with Facebook, and I will give you an ideal budget for the year 2023. So we're going to give you a less than $100 budget, and then I'm going to give you an ideal budget as well. And honestly, this is a subject that I have made videos on before, but since it is January and the beginning of 2023, I wanted to make an updated one because I have been getting a lot of questions about this subject. When it comes to different things that we can potentially spend money on, obviously we have our Shopify subscription, we have our domains, apps, themes. You could even spend money on marketing, obviously. You could spend money on a designer. You could order samples of your stuff as well. Some people use paid software to manage their business as well, or even make their own designs. And I think what's important to realize here is that not all of those things are going to be 100% necessary for you to spend money on at the beginning, or even in general with your print-on-demand store. Here are 4 things that you should definitely spend money on though. First and foremost is your Shopify subscription. Secondly is a custom domain name, a .com name for your store. Third, you definitely could spend on marketing, and you could hire a designer if you didn't know how to make your own designs yourself. I think what a lot of people struggle with is trying to figure out how much they should be spending on each of these things at the beginning and really how much is going to be enough to help them to actually get started. When it comes to starting with $100 or less, I want to sort of break it down here. Obviously, your Shopify subscription is going to be a part of your budget. However, right now, Shopify has a $1 per month option for you. You can see here that after your free trial, you can get a month of Shopify for just $1 on their website. Next, you're going to need yourself a domain. Now, there are lots of different places that you can get domains from. On average, you're going to pay about $10 for the year for your .com name. When it comes to this low budget strategy for print on demand, I would recommend you to use some free marketing methods, which I will discuss in a little bit here inside of this video. That way you can begin making some sales and ultimately reinvest into your business with the profits that you're making from your free advertising to move on to some paid advertising. And this last thing that you could potentially spend money on is going to be optional for some of you. If you are someone that has a lot of graphic design skill, then this does not apply to you. However, if you are someone that does need to hire a designer because you don't know how to make your designs yourself, you'll want to factor about $75 or so into your overall budget. In most cases, that will help you to get about 4 designs for your store. You can check out this video here on my channel to see more about actually hiring a designer. designer. And here are some things that would be optional that I did not include in my $100 budget. Obviously, if you wanted to go get yourself a premium theme for your Shopify store, you could spend money on that. I think it's kind of a bad investment at the beginning because ultimately your theme is not going to impact your success as much as you think. Next is Shopify apps. A lot of people think that they need tons of different apps to run their store. Honestly, you don't need any paid apps on your store. I have certainly had successful print-on-demand stores in the past that didn't have a single paid app on them. Obviously, you could hire an influencer to promote your products as well. But again, at the end of the day, today we are going to be talking about a free marketing strategy that you can use to get started. Additionally, you could also order samples of your products. That way you could use those samples in your marketing where you're taking your own photos or your own videos. Now, if you're someone that is going to be trying to start with $100 or less, obviously the ultimate success of your store is based on whether or not you are going to be able to actually make sales. You could spend the money on your Shopify subscription, you could spend the money on your domain, and even hire a designer to get you some designs, but ultimately if you don't ever make any sales, then how are you even going to turn your store into something that can generate profits for you? This store here is called electrothreads.com. I have made some videos in the past where I've shown them before. They just do an awesome job. They have a really nice store. They have a bunch of really awesome designs as well. And the thing that they do best has actually nothing to do with their store. They actually have a fantastic social media strategy. If we take a look at their Instagram page here, you can see that they have over 300,000 followers on their account, and they are basically just posting a ton of different stuff that people inside of their niche like, and then they're also posting a lot of pictures of their products. They are doing a fantastic job at posting things here to get people interested in their products, and then ultimately the link to their store is in the bio of their account. This is the #1 way for people to begin to make sales on their print-on-demand store without spending on advertising. As someone who is starting a print-on-demand store, I'm talking to you. This is a strategy that you need to start immediately because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take you to actually start building a following. Over time, you would want to get to the point where you have over 200,000 followers like this store here by simply just posting a bunch of videos that relate to your niche and then also sprinkling in photos of your products. Even this store here is doing it with mock-ups. Contrast that with the Electro Threads store, which was ordering a bunch of their samples. This is a prime example of how you can be successful with a Shopify print-on-demand store without spending anything on ads. Obviously, as time goes on and you begin to make some sales through those ways of marketing, you would want to eventually scale up and start with some paid advertising because ultimately in the year 2023 and beyond, that is really the #1 way that you are ultimately going to scale products. When it comes to starting Facebook ads with a low budget, I want to take you through a little bit of a strategy here. Now, full disclosure, this is not intended to be a complete Facebook ads training. I'm going to be talking about some things in this video which may be the first time you're ever hearing of them, and my goal here is not to give you a full lesson on Facebook ads. You can check out some of my other videos if you want something similar to that. But first and foremost, when it comes to low budget Facebook advertising, what I would say is to begin testing your products with the engagement objective. This is going to allow you to run ads at a really low budget and basically make assessments based on how much people are engaging with your ads. From there, any ads that have a lot of engagement, you would then convert to a conversion campaign. And when you start your conversion campaign, you're going to want to start it at about $5 a day. Typically, what I would do is let it run for 2 to 4 days or so based on the traffic costs. Essentially what I'm saying is if you are not generating any traffic, then don't leave it on for 4 days. However, if you are generating traffic, you will want to let the ad spend so that way people can come to your store. And as you begin to make sales, you're going to want to scale it up by about 20% or so every single time you make a sale. If you follow something like that and you begin to make consistent sales, you will ultimately be able to begin to scale your store. Obviously, when you see me make make videos where I'm talking about very large amounts of sales. I am running ads at a much higher budget than $5 a day. But the point is, at the beginning, you can certainly start at $5 a day. So now that we've talked about starting on Shopify for just $1, we've talked a little bit about running ads on Facebook and on Instagram like this. We've talked about using your own Instagram page like this to promote your products as well. And now I want to give you sort of an ideal budget allocation for the year 2023. This budget here is going to be the one that I would recommend to you. I'm not saying that you can't try to get started with less than $100 like I went through before, but obviously the more you're actually able to do, the greater chance of success you are actually going to have. So if you're asking me, Joe, what is your recommended budget to get started with a print-on-demand store? What I'm going to outline now is my recommendation. First and foremost, you're going to need yourself a Shopify store, which is going to cost you just $1 with the promo that they are currently running. Secondly, you're going to need a domain. Not much changed here from the less than $100 budget. Where things begin to change is with your designs. I would recommend you to potentially order some more complex designs, or even just get a little bit more on the site, maybe a little bit more than 4. You could start with 6 or 8 designs on your website. I would also recommend you to spend some money and get some samples. Ultimately, having some real photos on your store and some real photos on your social media pages of your products is going to give you a much greater chance of getting people to purchase them based on whether or not you were able to show them a good mock-up. And then lastly here, I would recommend you to spend about $100 on Facebook or Instagram ads. If you have created a great Shopify store and you have some good designs in some good niches on some profitable products, $100 with Facebook and Instagram ads is enough to begin making your first sales and ultimately begin to reinvest profits back into your business, ultimately allowing you to start your print-on-demand store in the year 2023 with $311 to $411. Now, obviously, this is a recommendation. Obviously, if your budget is a little bit less, or perhaps you have a little bit more, you could adjust it accordingly. But if you are looking to start a print-on-demand store on Shopify in the year 2023, this would be the budget that I would recommend to you to give yourself the greatest chance of success. Now, obviously, your ultimate success with your store is going to be based on whether or not you can actually create things that people will want to buy. Oftentimes, whenever I begin talking about budgets, there are always people that ask me, what is the minimum amount that I need to spend to have a profitable print-on-demand store? I have even had people ask me, how much do I need to invest in my Shopify store in order to make $2,000 a month? And one thing that's important to note here is that there is no possible answer to that question. Meaning, if you are asking how much do I need to spend on my store to generate this amount, you are misunderstanding how this actually works. What I mean is, you are creating a real business. Your chance of success has nothing to do with what you are investing. Meaning, there's no set amount that you're going to invest in your store to be able to generate a certain amount of money. That would be like me saying to you, how much money do I need to invest in my brand new restaurant to generate a certain amount of sales every single month? Of course, you could give me recommendations, but there's always the chance that my restaurant will fail if I don't create food that people actually want to order. And the same thing is true with your print-on-demand store. You could follow everything I say here on this channel, but ultimately, if you don't create things that people want to buy, your store will fail and you'll continuously have to reinvest money into it. On the flip side, you could start your store with the less than $100 daily budget. On the flip side, you could start your store with the less than $100 budget and create things right from the beginning that people want to buy and ultimately begin making sales and never have to reinvest into your store again. And then you're basically started a successful print-on-demand store with less than $100. Hopefully that makes sense. I just wanted to go through that here at the end because sometimes people watching these videos assume that print-on-demand is some sort of a get-rich-quick scheme and that it's easy, and at the end of the day, it's not. You are creating a real business, and what I've tried to do here in this video is outline some of the various things that you could potentially spend money on and talk about how you could actually get started with a low budget. So let me know in the comments how much you actually started your print-on-demand store with, and let me know how it is currently going. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to go through some more training from me, make sure to check out my course. It is completely free. There's a link down in the description. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.